So today, I want to talk about how it is time to kind of reevaluate those relationships and step back a little bit and hug yourself today. Take care of yourself and start healing and trust the process. Right? You deserve that. I know I had to get to the point where I started seeing that I absolutely deserve that. Because I'm not on the planet to just take care of everyone else, just to support everyone else. Especially when I have come to know that I need healing. And I may even desire it, right? There have been a couple of times I can think of right now that I have actually desired healing, before I even got to the need, right? A lot of us get to the need, right? It's like we wait until we get to the need and then we need the healing. So when it's time to heal, guys, you just have to take a breather and trust that process. You're going to be okay. Look at all the times that you have done excellent by other people, by supporting them. And while you were going through what you were going through, you were supporting and loving yourself at the same time. That's not easy, because that takes a balancing act, and it's not very easy to do. A lot of people, they're not very good at that. So commend yourself for doing that. However, that's part of, this is what I had to keep in mind. That's part of having a dysfunctional relationship. It's not healthy. It's not healthy to take care of yourself and take care of other people who are not appreciating you, who do not care for you. Now, if they do appreciate you, if they have demonstrated that they're trustworthy, and if they do love you and care for you, and you know this because that's the track record, then yes, by all means, carry on. That is healthy. A dysfunctional or a toxic relationship is where you're doing that and nobody is doing that for you. All the people that you're doing that for, they're not doing that for you. Just picture this. You prepare a beautiful feast, a dinner, a meal, and it's very festive, and you take that time out and you get all that together, and you have 10 guests come over, right? And you have prepared this feast for everyone. Everyone's eating and everything, and not one of those 10 people ever do that for you. Ever. That's toxic. That's dysfunctional. So that's when it's like, that's not a balance. And it took me some time, guys, to realize during my healing that I am worthy of that. Of having people in my life who not only appreciate how I contribute and what I contribute in their life, but that I take care, they're not making a fuss about me taking care of myself in the process. In other words, it's like, I love myself, I love them, and I love myself too, and nobody is having an attitude, or they're not having an issue with it. Okay? So that's where I realized that is better for me. When I have, said, well, I'm going to give place to people in my life who show me that I am appreciated for how and what I contribute in their life. Because they do the same for me. They don't have to do the exact same thing that I do, but see, it's the validation, it's the appreciation of who I am and what I bring to their life. And they're like, hey, I appreciate you. I see you. Those are the people that I give place to in my life, as opposed to people who I do this for and there's no appreciation. I'm over here starving, right? There's none for me. But they expect me to keep giving them that. All the good that I'm providing, all the contribution that is good and I'm providing in their life. Oh, they want that to keep coming because they're benefiting. But at the same time, it doesn't dawn on them here that, hey, to reach out to me and show some love, some appreciation. So this is why during my healing, I just started relaxing more and just saying, you know what? I trust the process. I'm going to land on my feet. It's a little rough at times. However, I'm doing something constructive, such as giving myself permission to heal. So you know what? I'm not going to rush that. Take some time out to heal. So just trust that you're going to, you're getting better as opposed to bitter, right? You're becoming better, not bitter. That's something that kept me, focused. That's what I kept in mind And that's what helped me to stay focused on the process and trusting it. Saying, you know what, trusting myself and trusting the process, that I am becoming better as opposed to bitter. Okay, so I hope that helps you guys, kind of, say, well, okay, I'm going through this healing thing, and sometimes it's frustrating, and it is challenging. But look at it like this: it's a process. You're becoming better as opposed to becoming more bitter, right? So I just wanted to share that with you guys. I hope that was a great message for you, and I hope that motivates you to continue your healing.
Today, we're going to talk about something really simple, maybe something you haven't thought about since you were a kid. But it's also an incredibly powerful tool for healing, for focus, and honestly, for getting to know yourself a little better. We're talking about journaling.
You know, this quote, it really hits on something we've all felt, right? That struggle with emotions we haven't quite dealt with. Whether it's from something big in our past or just the constant stress of everyday life, we get really good at pushing those feelings down just to get through the day.
But here's the thing about that strategy. It has a cost.
Those feelings, they don't just vanish. They kind of hang around, and they can bubble up as anxiety or depression or that sudden flash of anger that seems to come out of nowhere. It's what keeps us feeling guarded and disconnected and, well, stuck. Okay, so how do you even start to untangle all that stuff going on inside without getting completely overwhelmed? Well, there's a tool for that, and it's surprisingly simple and something anyone can use to find a little bit of clarity. We're talking about journaling. And listen, this is so much more than just a diary of what you did today. Think of it as a scientifically backed practice for creating a totally safe space, a space where you can lower your anxiety, lift your mood, and finally, actually hear your own inner voice again. And look, this isn't just some wellness trend or an empty claim. When you look at the data, you start to see just how powerful this simple practice can be. 50 million. Let that number sink in. In the US alone, that's how many people are thought to journal regularly. To put that another way, that's about 1 out of every 6 adults who are actively picking up a pen or opening an app to write their way through life. So why are so many people doing it? Well, the reasons are pretty compelling. A huge 80% do it to boost their self-awareness. 74% say it helps them find mental clarity. It's so effective, in fact, that 70% of mental health professionals actually recommend it. People are using this to understand themselves, plain and simple. And it's not just in your head. This stuff has a real physical impact. Some pretty amazing studies have found that daily expressive writing can actually lower your levels of cortisol, that's our main stress hormone, by up to 35%. That is a real biological change happening just from writing things down. So what all this data really tells us is that journaling is kind of like a Swiss Army knife for your mental health. It helps you get a handle on your emotions, it builds up your resilience, and it can even make you more optimistic. It also creates what experts call psychological distance, which is basically the ability to step back and look at your thoughts instead of being swept away by them. Okay, so the benefits are super clear, but I bet you're thinking, great, but a blank page? That's terrifying. How in the world do I even start? That's probably the biggest hurdle for everyone, but don't worry, there's a really simple plan to get you going. This 6-step guide just makes it so much easier. First, just get clear on your why. Then, pick your weapon. A cool notebook, or hey, the Notes app on your phone is perfect too. Find a rhythm that works for you. And this is the most important part. Let go of being perfect. Use prompts if you're stuck, and just experiment. This is all about honest expression, not winning a spelling bee. And because there's absolutely no single right way to do this, it's all about finding the method that just clicks for you. So let's check out a few popular styles to help you find your perfect fit. This chart is brilliant because it shows just how different journaling can be. If you love staying organized, the lists and symbols of a bullet journal might be your best friend. If your mind just feels totally cluttered, the pure release of free writing could be a total game changer. You can keep it positive with a gratitude journal, or if words aren't your thing, an art journal lets you use sketches and color to say what you need to say. But okay, what happens when you open that notebook and crickets? Your mind goes completely blank.
First off, that's totally normal. And that is exactly where journal prompts become your secret weapon. They are a fantastic way to just get the words flowing. You could start with a question as simple as this one. Just shifting your brain to focus on gratitude, even for really small things, is a proven way to lift your mood. What comes to mind for you right this second? Or maybe try a prompt like this. The cool thing about this is you're not just remembering a place, you're actively bringing that feeling of safety and calm into your body, right here and now, just by writing about it. And for something really transformative, try this. We are so often our own toughest critics, right? Writing a love letter to yourself is such a powerful way to challenge that negative inner voice and start building some real, lasting self-esteem. Ultimately, when you boil it all down, all these methods and prompts, they're really just pointing to one single empowering idea. This is your story to tell. And just remember, there are no rules here. Seriously, this is your private space. It can be messy, it can be angry, it can be joyful. The only goal is to make it a practice that actually supports and enriches you. It's a journey, not a performance. So let's end with this thought. Your journal is a blank page. It's waiting to listen, and it will never judge you. Your story is waiting. If you were to pick up a pen today, what is the very first story that only you can tell?